Hey, welcome to How to Set Up HoneyBook. So if you are new to HoneyBook, or maybe you've had a HoneyBook for a little bit of time, but you're wanting to figure out how to actually maximize this tool, this video series is for you. That's right, this is going to be a 5-part video series, and I actually got this idea when a friend of mine, a consultant friend of mine, said, Nicole, I'm really excited about HoneyBook. You have convinced me that I really need to streamline my sales process. She invested in the HoneyBook platform only to open it up and think, where do I even start? So I decided, let me go ahead and record exactly what I do to set up HoneyBook for my mama coaches and consultant clients when I am doing a custom HoneyBook build out. So like I said, this is going to be a 5-part series. This is part 1 that you're watching. So make sure you see the entire playlist to have a step-by-step guide on how to set up your HoneyBook for success. So like I said, this is part 1. Part 1 is all about your account setup in HoneyBook. There are certain foundational components that need to be set up before we even dive into the fun parts. So this is that video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Nicole Mace. I've been talking to you for a couple minutes and you're probably thinking, who is this lady? Again, my name is Nicole Mace. I am a system strategist and a digital learning designer for mama coaches and consultants, and I help mama coaches and consultants scale their business with simple systems, dynamite digital programs, and accountability in community. So if you are new to my channel, this is the place you're going to figure out how to create simple systems to scale your business and lessen your workload. All right, so let's dive into what you're going to learn in this video. In this video, we're going to talk about branding and preferences. One of the key components of HoneyBook is the fact that you can brand the entire thing, meaning any lead or client that comes your way is going to see your branding elements on everything that they touch when it comes to sending things from HoneyBook. So you definitely get to elevate your professional presence using the branding components. Preferences is also going to help us set up how you want your account to function. Number 2, we're going to make sure that we have all the technical components together. So those are the integrations of third-party tools, as well as setting up the payment portal. One of the best components of HoneyBook is the fact that people can actually pay you directly through HoneyBook. So you can send them a proposal, a contract, and an invoice, and they can pay, setting up that investment right then and there. The third component of the account setup is to customize your sales pipeline. Everyone's business runs a little differently, and so HoneyBook allows us to customize the pathway that a lead will go through in order to transition into our client. So we get to actually customize the pipeline, the sales pipeline that is in our program. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. All right, y'all. So the first thing that I'm going to suggest is branding and preferences. So let's say you have just invested in HoneyBook. The first place you're going to go is to this top right corner where your profile is. Now your picture won't be here yet, but let me show you how to add that. There are 2 components of the profile. So my account and company settings. We're going to spend the most of this video in company settings, but let's go ahead and start with my account. So in my account, you're going to set up your basic information. Actually, all of this should already be in your setup. However, you might need to update your job title. Next, this is where you can update or change your password. The next component is your security phone number. So this is the phone number where you will need to add a specific number in order to do that dual authentication, so the 2-step authentication, and this really has to do with connecting your bank account. So make sure you have a phone number that you have access to for texting here. Next piece it's going to ask you to do is to log in doing the 2-step verification. So you can see that mine is set up already. So it's just going to have you double check how do you want us to double step you into logging into your account. It's going to ask for your verification here. And then this is where you can manage payment and methods. So just fill in the basic information. Make sure you have your security phone number in order to connect your bank account. All right, let's head into company settings. Okay, So the top piece of company settings, first of all, on the left-hand side is a entire navigation. So list of links here, different pages that we'll need to walk through in the setup. There are 3 main places that you will go to for this video for your account setup. So we're going to go through the absolute basics here. So you're going to build your professional presence by setting up your branding and preferences. This first block is going to have, again, basic account information for your business. You'll use the drop-down menu to find a business kind of model that best fits yours or type. Then you'll move down to the fun part. So this is where you're going to set up your branding for any smart file. So smart file can be a questionnaire, it can be a proposal, it can be a service guide, it can be an offboarding file. So anything that essentially you're able to send to a client is going to have your branding on it, which is so nice, very professional. So on the right hand side, there's going to be your preview here. This is what your items are going to look like. And so to update those or change those, find this big button to customize company theme. And it's very straightforward. So main font and colors, you're going to choose your font that is best closely related to your branding font or find the exact one. You can also upload a specific one if you don't find it in the list. Next, you're going to make sure the background of all of your smart files are going to be the same color. The text will always be the same color, and any kind of highlighted text, so any kind of linked text is going to show here, just like you see right here. Next, what's the button going to look like? There's quite a few buttons actually that your client or lead could come across. First, every time you email them a smart file, it's going to give them an actual button to click on to access the smart file. Within the smart files, the navigation buttons, so next page buttons, are going to pop up there. And so we want to make sure that the buttons look consistent. So for the buttons, you're going to do the same thing. Select the font. You can change the button text color and the normal color here. I'm sorry, the normal size or whatever size you would like this button to be. So if you want the button to be very large, you can see how it's gone up instantly there. So you can always check on what the appearance is going to look like on the right-hand side. If you have more kind of bubbly elements in your branding, you can round it out quite a bit. Keep mine at about 20 there. And next question. So again, with smart files, you can add questions anywhere to any of the smart files. So those questions, the font is going to be loaded there. The size of the question, the text, the question text, the input field. So this is that where they're going to type essentially. If you want it to have a border on the typing field or not. And then any kind of warning. So if you say that this question is required, but they didn't fill it out, it's going to pop up a warning for them. Okay. All right. So that is the basic company smart file theme. This section here. So this is all about smart files. If we go down a little bit farther, this is where the additional branding elements are. So the things that you can actually bring into smart files to make sure that that client or lead knows exactly when they open it up, they know, oh, it's from you. So the first thing you are going to upload is a main logo. This is your square 100 by 100. You can resize your logo by using an application like Canva and just setting up the size initially, the custom size, or pulling in your logo and doing a resize if you have the upgraded version. I think it's like Canva Pro. Next is secondary logo. This is the horizontal logo. This is 300 by 100. So you want to make sure that that is available. And then your main branding color. Okay. Lastly, there are additional images. So the great thing about smart files is that it's essentially like, think of it as a mini website. You get to send a couple different pages of a website to your client versus just these long text form type of files, like a Word doc or something. So we want to make sure that you have some branded elements, branded images pulled into essentially your library so you can easily add them to those smart files. To do that, you'll select Add Images. You can see this is my library. What I want to show you, if you have a drop-down menu here, it's going to give you 2 suggestions. One type of image that it wants you to be able to pull in here is a square 110 by 110. These would best fit next to any kind of service item or package item, since those are much smaller and we want to be able to show multiple on one page. Next, it wants to make sure you have images that could serve as a page header, so 1200 by 400. Those are the only two dimensions it is recommending. I will say if you pull in a big enough image, then you'll be able to use it for the smaller ones, right? So think bigger is better because you'll be able to resize and update the ratio. So if you need a square or a round or a rectangle, you can easily do that when you're building out the smart files. So you'll upload here just like you would. You can drag and drop an image. Let's say I want to add this one. Save it. It's going to add it directly to my library. Okay, and most recent is going to be in the top left corner. The next thing I want to show you about the library is the fact that when you're creating a new project and that new client or the new lead is going to open up their portal, maybe to view their proposal, your project is actually going to have a banner at the top. And so you can select what image is going to be your default banner. So I think I've selected this one, and you can tell because when you hover over it, it has a star here. But if I wanted to change this for any reason for this to be my default, I can select this image, or sorry, this star here. Now this is now my default image. Okay. The last component of the library is this is essentially like a private filing cabinet. So if you do have PDFs or Excel spreadsheets, something that you're always sending to your clients, actual files, you can store them here and easily reference them when you need to pull them into an email or a smart file or anything like that. All right, so that is a part of your library that lives within your HoneyBook account, but you can set it up in company settings. Okay, the next block is your email signature. This can appear on any email that you send out. So you'll want to make sure that this is set up. You can add an image by hovering over the image upload item. So you can upload any image. And then the text can go next to it. To align your image, you can select it and then you can tell I've done a left align. It can be centered. It can be right aligned. Okay, so we just set it up as you would like. If you want to add something like grab a call with me, and then you can also highlight it and add a link to your scheduler tool, which again, there's one built directly into HoneyBook. Then you can actually add that link right there as well if you want that to be part of your email signature block. All right, let's back out of here. Next component is the about your company. So you'll want to add your one-liner here, and then you can add a paragraph if you would like as well. Connect your socials, so just copy paste directly to your socials. And then more information, so your company address here. I will tell you that the about your company, as well as some additional elements here, they're going to be putting them in, let me show you. There's a business directory in HoneyBook. So that type of information will be added to their directory. So if you, let's say you're working with a client and they really need a graphic designer, you can actually search and find by location or other filter types to find some options for them. Same thing for you. People can search and find services that you provide as well. Okay, company branding. So that's it for company branding. Once you have set those components, anything that you send out, you can easily click apply company branding. All right, next component is preferences. Now, I'm going to go over these three first because these are actually super essential for the way that your account is going to function for you. Firstly, let's set up your lead sources. Let's identify where your leads are actually coming from. So clicking edit, you can see it's going to have some main ones for you already set up. It'll have website, it'll have industry, referral, unknown, client referral, and other. And then you can add any other sources that you would like by selecting here, typing it in and clicking add. Okay, so this actually can be a drop-down menu in your initial inquiry form for your lead to identify, how they found you. This is going to be great when you're pulling reports at the end of every quarter or end of every year to see, where are your leads coming from and where should you double down those marketing efforts. So lead sources. Next is project details. Is there any information that you want HoneyBook to gather or hold space for that you want to be able to track on every single project? So for example, you can see that every project will have a project name. It'll identify the project type, which we'll talk about in a moment, date and location, and any of the about the project. So you can add details about the project. Please note that these are all visible to your client. So in their client portal, they'll be able to see this information. So is there anything else that you would like your client to be able to view? This could be something like budget. Okay. This could be something like something that you want to track on every single project. Okay. So think about if there's any other fields that you want to make sure is noted on every project. Okay. And you can delete them that way. I will point out at the bottom here, you do have a private section for notes in every project that's not viewable, of course, to clients. So just note that you have that there as well. Hit save. All right. Project types. For someone who's brand new to HoneyBook, you may not be aware of how important project types are. But essentially, project types are the type of work that you actually take on. So for example, if you serve corporate clients and you serve nonprofits, and your offers and kind of your communications and how you serve those two entities are very different, then those are two different types of project types. Maybe you do an all-day workshop, or maybe you do one-on-one consultations. Those could be two different project types. How I want you to think about this is based on the clients that you serve and the work that you do for them, what projects would you actually want to take them through a different system or a different automation path? Because they would get their own, questionnaire. They would get a different kind of smart file proposal. They would get a different kind of onboarding. They would get a different type of offboarding, because project types are what you can actually use as an anchor for what automation or system you're setting up per client or per project. So again, if a client would have, if client A has a different route in your business versus client B, those are two different project types. Let me give you an example of my own. Let me hit edit so you can see the list that I have. So I have a project called my Suite Sales System. This is a 100% set up for you in HoneyBook. Okay, so this is a custom build out. I build out the entire sales system, not just, your HoneyBook account, but sales systems. So this is one type of project that I take on. Next, I provide some ClickUp VIP services. I do an audit and optimization package. I also do a VIP week where I'm setting up actual operations in ClickUp for you. So that's a different type of project. Next are Kajabi sales funnels. So many people work with me. They are usually executive coaches or consultants, and they're wanting to scale their businesses, and they're starting to really leverage online marketing. And so the platform that I always recommend is Kajabi, so I can set up sales funnels. So that's a very different project than ClickUp or Suite Sales System with HoneyBook. I do operations strategist, so I will come into a business for 1 quarter and actually look at their operations and build out more optimized automations and do trainings based on those. Another project I will do is called Scale Impact Program Development, all within Kajabi. So you can see that those are different, very different projects. They would require different onboarding. They would require different proposals. They would require a different questionnaire and different offboarding steps. So think about how you want the work that you take on and the steps that would be involved and how different those would be. So those are the project types. Okay, so you can add a new one here by clicking add project type, click done, and you can always set up your default which it doesn't matter because in your inquiry form, which is in the next video, you'll want to make sure that it's either selected for a specific project type or you're asking the lead to select the project type. Okay, let's head into company notifications. This is really fun because this is the first taste that you will have of HoneyBook doing some work for you. Okay, so your job here is just to look through each one of these and decide, do I want this on or off? For example, notify me by email within 1 day if my client has not viewed an email that I sent with a file. Okay, so I have that turned on. You can also change it anywhere you see a pencil. You can update that and customize it however you'd like. Okay, now, yeah, we're gonna keep that. Oh, it keeps toggling on and off. 1 day. Okay, because I didn't change anything. Okay, notify me by email if a file I've sent has not been signed or paid after 7 days. Okay, so this is a lot of notify me. Next is display notification when projects have conflicting dates. I have multiple projects going at the same time, so I have that turned off. And that's just going to notify. It's just going to say like red. You know, if you make sure that you're only on one project at one time, it's going to show you red if a red project date, if you already have a project going on during those dates. Display automated emails that are sent to my clients in my project activity feed. Yes to this. Definitely keep this on. You want to be able to see your communication with your clients right in the project. Okay. And notification center. So you're going to select the types of notifications. So you can get so this is what's going to pop up in your notification here. So I have them all turned on. Just tell me everything that's going on in my account, right? Actions. Here's the fun part. Send a reminder to my client if they've not viewed my sent smart file within 3 days. Again, you can customize that. Okay, so you'll just look through these and see, okay, do I want this sent? This is also, or do I want this on? This is also going to be able to send payment reminder emails. So here you can actually customize what that email is that's going out. Okay, so if you want to change the language at all, you can do that right here. Default name format, pretty standard. Project name, template name, project name, template name. So your template could be your smart files or the project types that you are sending that are connected with the project themselves once that lead has selected the type of project or you have selected. Okay, so those are the preferences. I want to make sure you walk all the way through those because your account could be doing things that you're not aware of unless you've checked all the preferences. Okay, friends, that's only number 1 of 3 for this video, so let's keep going. Integrations and payment portal. The first thing I want to point out is payment portal, which is your bank details section. Remember when I said, make sure in your account you have your security phone number set up. Once you have that set up, then you're able to go to company and you can go to bank details. So you're going to want to upload bank documentation to complete your account verification. Once you've done that, it's actually super easy. Once you've done that, it's going to be able to connect your bank account. It's going to verify that you are the owner. And HoneyBook does allow instant deposit to an actual debit card if you would prefer that way as well. So essentially you're going to follow the instructions, click the Connect Now buttons, and you'll be all set up for payment directly through HoneyBook. Okay, now let's go to integration. So that was your bank account. Make sure that's all set up, and integrations. So some key integrations to focus on is making sure your email is integrated. That way, any communication you are sending out from HoneyBook is going to look like it's just coming directly from your email account, okay? So you can see mine says disconnect. If it's not connected, it will give me a connect button here. So as you connect any of these integrations, my suggestion is you actually logged into these platforms on another screen or on another tab so that you can easily do the dual authentication process. It's essentially just going to send you a code, make sure it's you that's trying to connect, and that's it. It's pretty quick. I want to point out that you can connect QuickBooks to HoneyBook so that any payment that comes through HoneyBook will show in QuickBooks. You can connect your social accounts. If you're going to use Zapier for anything, which you'll probably want to, you probably won't need to for a while, but as you start collecting more information and you're wanting to move things to maybe an email service provider, you'll be able to show that Zapier API key for you. Next, you connect your Facebook or Instagram lead integration. So if you're running any kind of ads, then those leads can pop up directly in your HoneyBook. You want to add HoneyBook directly to your Chrome extension, making an extension there, quick access. Okay, these two, let's talk about these. So first of all, HoneyBook has a scheduling tool built directly in it. But if you are in love with Calendly and you refuse to give it up, then you can directly connect Calendly to your account, which means you wouldn't need Zoom connected to HoneyBook because Zoom is probably already connected to your Calendly calendar. If you want to use your HoneyBook account for your scheduler, then I suggest connecting your Zoom account directly to HoneyBook. Because just like Calendly, when you schedule an appointment in the HoneyBook scheduler, you will be able to, or HoneyBook will automatically grab a new Zoom link. It will create a new Zoom meeting for you all on its own. Okay, so here you'll want to discuss, do I want to use HoneyBook scheduler or do I want to use Calendly? If you want my 2 cents, it is to use the HoneyBook scheduler because you'll be able to set up more automations around the activity of that scheduled call. So when a lead schedules, something can happen, so many days after they've scheduled with you, something can happen, right? So in Calendly, all it's going to do is pop up on your HoneyBook calendar. Okay, that's all it's going to do. And then Calendly will do the rest of its automations on that side. Okay, so those are integrations. I wanted to point those out to you because there's so many things that you want to make sure that are integrated. The last thing I want to show you for integrations actually having to do with this email account. It is your calendar. So we want to make sure that your calendars are all feeding up. That way, anything that's coming in, any kind of appointments that are coming in through HoneyBook are showing on your main core calendar, and then vice versa, so that you know when you're actually available. So to do that, go to Tools and find Calendar. And then on the left-hand side, if you'll hover over Google, you'll see this gear. And then you can actually connect your Google Calendar through that email. You can also decide what other calendars that you want appointments to show on. So I have a secondary, right? And then we can decide what calendars are actually going to show up on my main calendar here. Which ones do I care about? Which ones do I want HoneyBook to be checking for my availability? Okay, so we'll hit save there. Great. And then you can see the color code from HoneyBook here to show you what is happening. Okay, I'm going to go back to company settings so we don't get distracted with all those other tools and fun things. So that's integrations and your payment portal, which is in your bank details. And I will tell you the next component is on your actual projects tab. So the last component for setting up your account is to customize this pipeline here. Now, the purpose of your pipeline is for you to see at a glance where leads are in the process of converting into your client. So right now I have 12 active projects. You can see I have 1 in inquiry, I have 3 in follow-up, 0 in strategy session, 1 proposal sent, and then here's where we get to they've now become a client of mine, right? So I have a contract signed, a retainer paid, we're in the planning stage, we're in progress, a project can be paused or completed or archived. Okay. So how do I customize this? Because you might want yours to look a little different. Customize, and then you can see the ones that have locks on them. Those are the ones that HoneyBook is insisting that you have because that's going to give you a basic pipeline. And based on the activity that you'll be doing in HoneyBook, it knows to pull a lead from one stage to the next. Okay, so inquiry will be any kind of contact or lead form that is filled out. Follow-up is going to be, when the project is automatically enters the stage. So let me just read this here. Once you have engaged with a client's inquiry, that's right. So you've viewed it, then it's going to be in the follow-up section because it's your decision on how you want to follow up with them. The strategy session, I have added that one. So let me show you how to add a stage. So you're going to click on this little plus button. You're going to title it with whatever you'd like. You're going to hover over the 8 dots, click, drag, and drop for where you want this to go. Okay, so maybe I want it to go in between these for whatever reason. All right, so you'll see the other ones here that are locked, and then I've added in progress, paused, and complete is already there for us. Okay, so if I save and exit, you'll see that this new stage has been added here. Okay, again, to customize it, you'll click customize, and I can click the garbage. If I say, no, I really don't need that, let me clean up this pipeline for myself. So at a glance, you'll be able to see where your leads are right here. And if I click on any of them, I can see who is in there and I can go directly to that project. I can also send them a smart file from here, and there's some other options. So really being able to manage your sales pipeline. So that was video 1. We'll be jumping into video 2, 3, 4, and 5 will be available to you in that playlist. Just walk through each one of those videos to know exactly how to set up your HoneyBook account for success. Now, if you're already thinking, okay, Nicole, this is going to be way too much work that I have capacity for right now, I want to point you to my Done For You Suite sales system with HoneyBook. 4 weeks to streamline your entire sales system, and super proud to show these elements to any prospects coming your way. So this is an option for you. Find the details linked below, and I will see you in the next one.